The crash of breaking glass made the man freeze in his living room. He turned his head, only to see a shadow slip through the open window. At first, he thought it was a thief. But when the figure stepped into the light, his heart nearly stopped. It was a bobcat. But this was not the wild, dangerous hunter he had seen in books. Its fur was thin, its body trembling, and its paws left faint bloody prints on the wooden floor. Its eyes, instead of glowing with anger, looked empty and desperate, as if it had come here for one reason only: help. The man's breath caught. A wild bobcat inside his home. His instincts screamed at him to run. But something about the way the animal swayed on its weak legs made him hesitate. And then he saw it. A rusty metal trap clamped cruelly on its front paw. The sight made his stomach twist. Blood dripped onto the floor, drop after drop, spreading into a small red pool. The bobcat lowered its head, too weak to snarl, too broken to fight. It took one more shaky step, and collapsed right at his feet. For a moment, the room was silent except for the sound of its ragged breathing. The man's heart pounded so hard he could feel it in his throat. He whispered, oh no, what happened to you?" But the worst was still coming. The bobcat suddenly tried to rise, hissing in pain, its body jerking wildly. The trap's teeth dug deeper into its flesh. The man jumped back, terrified it might attack. But then, to his shock, the animal didn't lunge. Instead, it looked up at him, eyes wet and pleading, as if begging him to save its life. The man knew this was his only chance. Hands shaking, he grabbed his phone and called the nearest wildlife rescue. His voice cracked as he begged them to hurry. Minutes felt like hours. The bobcat lay gasping on the floor, its chest rising and falling in painful jerks. The man knelt a few feet away, whispering softly, trying to keep it calm. "Stay with me, just hold on." Finally, headlights flashed outside. Rescue workers rushed in with gloves, tools, and a stretcher. They moved carefully, one distracting the bobcat while another prepared a dart gun. A soft shot rang out, and within moments, the bobcat's body relaxed into a deep sleep. The man watched as they worked quickly, unlocking the rusty trap and revealing a deep, infected wound. Blood flowed freely, staining towels dark red. They wrapped its paw, lifted it gently, and carried it out. As they loaded it into the van, the man asked, voice trembling, "Will it survive?" One rescuer looked at him and said, "If you had waited longer, no. You just gave it a chance." Relief washed over him, but his chest still ached. He followed them outside and watched the van disappear into the night, carrying the fragile creature away from death. Days later, the man received news: the bobcat was alive. It had surgery, the wound was healing, and slowly, it was eating again. He closed his eyes and let out a breath he didn't realize he'd been holding. That night, when he looked at the broken window, he no longer saw it as damage. He saw it as the doorway through which a desperate life had asked for mercy, and found it. The bobcat never returned. But its memory stayed forever.